Hello, I'm Philip Stoughton for EMS Now. I'm here at SMTAI in Texas, and I'm joined by Alan from Teradyne. Alan, thanks for stopping by to chat.
Welcome.
Start by telling me about the new product that you're launching here at SMTAI.
Yes, what we're doing is we're promoting a new version of our in-circuit tester that is designed for automation. So it has several concepts that we think are unique in the industry. What we call zero footprint, which means it's 6 times smaller than our previous version, and it's very modular. So the idea is it can fit into the footprint of your automated assembly line without adding any extra width. Okay. The other is multi-site. So what we've done is we've added multiple modules because we've shrunk the machine so much. We're able to add multiple test modules, so we can do concurrent testing. So we can put up to 4 concurrent test modules into the machine, so you can get 4 times the throughput of a standard machine in the same footprint of a standard machine.
Okay.
And then there's automation adaptable, which we can integrate it already into 5 different automation handlers, because many of the manufacturers out there have their own factory automation, and they want to use that rather than take the turnkey automation that some manufacturers produce.
Yeah, so certainly automation is something that we're hearing a lot about, and particularly customizable automation, something that's really important here, but also particularly in the German market. But just wanted to go back to the zero footprint, which is a term I've not heard before, which makes sense. Is that because people are very constrained for space, or is it also because people want to be able to fit to an existing line without too much disruption?
Well, the problem with existing, for electrical test equipment in the automation and handling line, unlike AOI equipment or X-ray equipment, you have to have a lot of electrical test instruments and a lot of test pins coming up. So historically what's happened is that because the machine becomes too big and the floor space is limited for people, is they put like the in-circuit machine behind the line, and then they cable the instruments up to the handler, which is much smaller, right? So then that way they can get it smaller, but then it takes space behind the equipment, and not only that, but then you have to cable all the electrical signals up to the tester, which reduces the signal integrity, right? So by shrinking everything and making everything fit, our pin bay is only 8 inches wide. Wow. So we can put multiple modules in, still fit within the 19-inch space, which is normally reserved for testing. Now we can get in the same footprint as an AOI or an AXI machine with an in-circuit test machine, which hasn't been possible in the past.
And by having it in line, there's obviously more demand in terms of being able to get the speed of throughput to keep the line pulse.
Basically reducing the number of operators on the floor, the test fixtures cost less, the reliability for process control, less handling. So there's a lot of benefits to automation.
Yeah, and in terms of less complexity for the user, does that mean it's simpler to use? Does that mean there's less training required? Because certainly with staff attrition, particularly in Asia, that's a challenge at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, I think you sacrifice on one end. You do have to have someone who understands automation to keep the whole automation line moving. And we did intend to design this thing so that it's very easy to service. So that again, downtime is the key in an automation environment. Right? So it's very simple to service, and but the automation, once it's running, it takes a process to get the program up, debugged, and running. But once it's running, it should run
without any interaction.
Right.
Is it a product that you think is specifically valid for the US market or global markets? I guess you're at Productronica in a few weeks' time.
Yeah.
To me, it makes sense for the German market as well.
Oh, it does make sense for the German market. We're finding in the U.S. it's not as much high volume. It's more prototype NPI type project. But in Europe, especially Eastern Europe, there's a lot of automation. There's a lot of automated assembling, and I think that they try and combat the lower cost regions by moving to automation and getting rid of that labor cost through automation that way as well. So we think it's a good fit there.
Yeah, it's a fascinating play in Europe, because you see that drive towards lean, drive towards automation going on in Germany, but you see the guys in Poland and Hungary learning that pretty quickly as well, and they're not too far away. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. With our new design, we've actually thought about the automation, the traditional SMT assembly line, where it's all goes from in a vertical way. But we find in Asia they're also trying to move to automation, not so much but they're trying to do the work cells where they get the
Yeah.
automated robots, right?
Yeah.
So we've designed this thing so it sort of integrates well with automation,
With the
work
use cell
cell
as well.
work cell as well.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes perfect sense. And you are going to be launching the product as well in Munich, I guess?
yes, we will at Productronica. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, fantastic. Alan, we look forward to seeing you in Munich. Thanks
Okay.
very much for stopping by
Thanks for
today.
your time. Appreciate it.